Guys, I've got 3 shred guitar methods and patterns that you can use every single day to get better at playing shred guitar. Now, more importantly, I'm going to show you how to expand on each one of these patterns, because that's where you truly start becoming, a better guitar player, when you can learn something but then kind of take off and add your own flavor to it. I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that as well. So let's get right into this, guys. Also, hang around for the end. We're going to have our usual guitar chat, and real quick, my Patreon supporters, you guys have the tabs, and you also have a backing track to play along with as well. So that's out there on Patreon, so be sure you download that. To me, this technique is the culprit of shred guitar, shred solos. You are just shredding. You're fast alternate picking using that method there, and it's just a cool technique to throw in there. It just sounds great. Now, we'll go through the pattern here, because this pattern is very simple. I'm going to show you the most simple thing here. You'll be like, really? That's all it is? But anyway, so 2 things real quick to help keep this pattern clean, help keep your picking clean. I like to use the neck pickup. I've got my toggle switched all the way up to the neck pickup, and I will also palm mute some of my notes, a light palm mute, but still I'll palm mute some of those notes. That just helps keep things clean. Now, this pattern here, again, very simple. All we're doing is playing the same thing twice, 3 notes at a time. That is it. Now you're like, really? That's all it is? So here's what we're doing. And you saw me play it slow earlier, but I'm going to go through this again. We're on the 12th fret of the E string, 12, 14, 15, play that twice. Then we're going to go 14, 15, 17 twice. Next string over, same thing twice, and we'll end on the D string, 14th fret. Really simple pattern. All I did after that was I just repeated the same thing an octave higher, starting on the note that we land on. So you got... I switched things up a little bit. You'll notice something real quick here. I know this question will pop up. You'll notice that I'm using my pinky finger for that first pattern. But then when we get to the higher octave, I switch from my pinky finger to using my ring finger. I'll show you why I do that. At this place around the fretboard here, it's a little bit easier. If I want to use my pinky finger for another note, I can easily do that if I'm using my 3rd finger for that highest note. Okay, so that allows me that freedom. It just kind of frees that pinky up to use it if I want to use it. I may not always do that. I don't always do that, but it's there if needed. Now, the reason why I use my pinky for the lower octave here is because, first of all, I want to use the pinky. You don't want to neglect your pinky finger, okay? You may not use it that often, and that's okay. I've heard people look at other guitar players like, I don't see you using your pinky. Well, so what? If that's how they play, who cares? If it sounds good. But I do encourage you to use your pinky. You don't want to completely neglect it. And because of the area of the fretboard, you're having to wrap that hand around that neck there to get up there. It's just a little bit easier to use the pinky finger, right, instead of this. That's kind of hard, See, I just screwed up. If I use my pinky, though, a little bit easier just because of where you're at, the proximity of the fretboard there. So that's just a little tip to give you guys. Again, what I like to tell you is play what feels most comfortable to you. We're all a little bit different, so remember that. So don't neglect that pinky finger, but also keep in mind that you want to play what feels most natural and most comfortable, especially when you get to those levels where you are playing faster guitar solos. Now, this would not be a shred guitar video without talking about sweep picking. This is like one of the most sought after techniques, and I get it because all of the great guitar virtuosos, or most of them anyway, use this technique and they're very awesome at it. Now, I actually have another resource for you. I'll share that in a second, but let's get into this pattern, which is pretty simple for the most part. As I break this down for you, you can be like, okay, that's pretty easy. You're not really playing a lot of notes. It's really just getting down the technique, okay? Now, I will be honest with you guys, this is not my strongest suit as a guitar player. This is actually one of my weaker areas here. I say that to say this: be self-aware. This is like the best human trait you can possibly have, up there with empathy. Be self-aware, realize where your strengths are, but also realize where your weaknesses are, and be honest with yourself about those, okay? That allows you to put in that extra time to work on those weak areas if it's something that you truly want to bring up. All right, let's go over this pattern real quick. We're on the last 3 strings here. Very, very simple. On the G, B, E string, we're gonna just play a simple little 3-note pattern here, sweep picking pattern. 12th fret, 13th fret, 12. Okay, 12, 13, 12. Now, you guys know this is shred guitar, so I assume you guys all know how to sweep pick, or at least the method. You're not picking each note. You're letting that pick kind of glide, okay? It's a really smooth and fluid motion. After that, we're gonna do a hammer on from the 12th to the 15th fret on that E string, the little E string there. Okay, and the reason I'm not picking that last fret there is because we're gonna implement the hammer-ons after that with our right hand. And this can get a little tricky here, but it's such a cool method to play. It looks cool and it sounds cool as well. And what we're doing here, okay, we're just going to go, again, 12, 13, 12, hammer on to the 15th fret there. And then I use my middle finger, because I'm holding my pick like this, right? My 2 fingers are there, my thumb's there. But I take my middle finger off to use the middle finger to tap with. So we'll go like this. Okay, that's it. And after that, we do that one time. After that, I'm just going to tap that next fret up. And I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what note we're tapping there. We're actually tapping the 19th fret, okay? So 19 and 20, those are the 2 notes, okay? We'll do this. And here's one little thing I'll share with you, and this is kind of like, this is sort of like cheating. Not meaning to cheat here, but I just noticed this about my own playing when I'm doing something like this. You want to glide back, right, from the higher note to the lower note, right? So what I noticed though about my playing, and I need to work on this, is sometimes I'll miss that B string coming back. I'll still fret it. Does that make sense? And then I'll pick that G string. Again, this is something I need to work on. I'm kind of calling myself out here, so that if you find you have little parts you're missing here, just again, be self-aware and realize that. It's like, okay, I acknowledge that. Now, if I were playing a guitar solo live, I don't know that I'd be too upset that I didn't pick that one note on the way back, because you can still hear the note, and it's so fast that maybe you can't tell anyway. It still sounds good. But again, it's about self-awareness, and I'm sharing this with you because this is one of my weaker points. It's something I need to work on. On that note, before we go to the next method here, I want to share real quick. Alfred Potter has a course. He's teamed up with Metal Mastermind. You guys know that's where I host my courses on. Metal Riff Master, Metal Guitar Apprentice, and more to come. I co-own that with Ken Candelas. It's a course platform for metal musicians. Alfred has a course on there called Sweep Picking Master. I'll leave a link for that in the description of this video. I say that because he is far greater at sweep picking than I am. I'm actually going through his course here and there. I need to get back to it and get back to practicing that. But I'll leave the link for Sweep Picking Master in the description of this video. This is another awesome shred guitar technique here. I love this method. It's so cool. You can integrate this anywhere in your solo almost, and of course we're going to talk about how to expand on these, but I am going to use my bridge pickup here, so I'm going to toggle back down to that. To me, I just like that sound better for this technique here, for this method. I don't know if you know this or not, but when I play guitar solos, I'll switch back and forth between the bridge and the neck pickup. Okay, anyway, so I just kind of wanted to share that real quick. I just made that up. Please don't ask for tabs. I have no clue what I just played, but I just wanted to demonstrate the different sounds. And sometimes one pickup may go better with a technique or a method than another, okay? So just want to bring that up real quick. So we're only playing on the G and the D strings here. We're starting out with the G. We'll head over to the D after that. And each part of this pattern, really, it's only 3 notes at a time. I like to break things down like that because it simplifies everything. Break things down into micro chunks, and it just makes it more simple and digestible, okay? Micro chunks, digestible. I want big chunks to eat right now. I'm really hungry, by the way, so let's wrap this up. Anyway, so what we're doing here is our G string will be open. That'll be the last note we play here, or that we pull off to, and we're going to be hammering down with our, I use my first finger, doesn't really matter what finger you use, but we're on the 9th fret on the G string, and then we're going to be on the 5th fret here, okay? So 9th fret, pull off to 5, then pull off to open. Okay, next pattern up, everything pretty much stays the same except for one note. Instead of the open, pulling off to the open G string, we're going to pull off to the 2nd fret, okay? So it's... After that, we're going to go over to the D string, and we're basically going to do the same thing that we just did on the G string, right? We went 9-5 open, then 9-5-2 on the G string. Now we're going to go 9-5-2 on the D string. Then we're going to finish off with, we're going to move that tapping finger up, right, 2 frets here to the 7th fret. Okay, and our next notes are going to be 2 and open. And with that open D string, since that's kind of ringing out, you can hit that little harmonic there on the 5th fret. Sounds pretty cool. Before we have our guitar chat, I want to show you real quickly how to expand on each one of those. This will be a short segment here, but remember that speed picking pattern we did. Okay, you can implement that anywhere on the fretboard, that concept there. The concept is just that, 3 notes at a time, playing it twice, then moving on to the next one. Now, you don't have to do that. That's just an easy way to do this, okay? But again, apply that same concept. Okay, you can just do that wherever. And again, you don't have to stick with 3 notes. Remember, we kept that pinky finger available down here. Just play around with that, and also add some other things in that, in between those notes, like I just did there. Like, you may not want to just go, you may want to do this instead. Hear how I did some different things in there, kind of like filled in those spaces with some little melodic textures, if you will. So try that, just mess around with that. Now, next we went to the sweep picking pattern here. I have a hard time saying sweep, it sounds weird. People have told me that in comments anyway. But we did something like this, right? We did this pattern here. Now try something else. Maybe eliminate that tapping part. See, I didn't even finish out the pattern, the sweep pattern there, right? I kind of went there a little bit, like halfway, right? Like Bon Jovi, we're halfway there. And then I went into something else, just threw in a little melody there. So that's a really good way to break things up. The last one was the tapping piece, okay? Try just that technique somewhere else. Okay, and I'm just messing around at this point, but you see I went off the deep end there, or went into left field, or whatever you want to call it, but I just went somewhere else. I didn't just tap the entire time. Just venture out with these patterns that I'm sharing with you. I mean, practice them every day, learn them, but I want you to build on these as fast as you possibly can. Not necessarily playing fast, but as quickly, rather, as you can. Once you get the pattern down, start expanding on that. Well, I guess we kind of just had a little bit of our guitar chat, because that's really what I want to talk to you about. I want to chat with you quickly about your solos. When to implement these shred methods into your guitar solos, because here's one thing that I really kind of discourage you doing. Don't be one of those gazillion of guitar players out there that do nothing but play as fast as they possibly can up and down the neck. It's like everybody's doing that now. And guys, I'm sorry, but it's great that you have the talent to do that. That's awesome. But I think it might take a little bit more talent to be able to do that, but know where to place those shred patterns, okay, those shred methods, while also carrying some sort of melody. This is how the song flows. This is how the song is speaking. You see, the guitar solo, in my opinion, guys, and this is just me. You can disagree. We can all disagree with each other. That's fine. But my opinion is that the guitar solo is really replacing what the vocal pattern or the vocal line would be in that part of the song. Now, yeah, you're going to go off and do some fast stuff, just like if you got a really phenomenal vocalist, they're going to hit those super high notes, do some screams or death metal growls or whatever it is that they do, right? They're going to showcase the talent in certain parts, but not through the entire song, right? There's always room for, I don't know, just the meat and potatoes of the song, if you will. It shouldn't be all about, look what I can do. I always use that reference, Stuart from Mad TV. So I want you guys to, yes, develop these methods, right? Develop your ability to play shred guitar, because hey, it is cool. I say that because don't make this excuse. Don't make the excuse of, well, shred just gets boring. I'm just gonna stick with playing melodic, and all you do is play slow all the time. Do both. Do it all. Why not? Why not have these shred capabilities in your back pocket to throw out from time to time in your guitar solo? It just spices things up, but don't neglect the melody either. Hey, have it all. Have all of those tools in your back pocket. I think the more tools you can have as far as playing lead guitar, the better off your solos are going to be. And I think the more captivating they'll be, because maybe you're playing this really melodic piece, but then all of a sudden you whip this sweep arpeggio out, but then you pull it back. The crowd is like, whoa, what just happened? That was pretty cool. That to me, again, my opinion, that to me is a lot better than just playing slow the entire time. Now, maybe some solos call for that, and that's fine, but I'm talking about the big picture here. But that's better than just playing, the slow stuff all the time. Okay, I'm just gonna play a melody, that's it. And, well, I'm just gonna play fast all the time. Everybody's gotta know how fast I can play. I'm just gonna throw up a bunch of notes on everybody. Why not integrate them both into your solos and make it more captivating? Hey, that's what it's all about. And guys, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you have to agree with me. This is just something that's kind of just coming out today, and I like to share this stuff with you. And these are things that I want to work on as a guitar player more. I want to do more of connecting the melodies and some of the shred patterns, or the shred techniques rather, connecting them together to make them flow, right? I don't want to be the guitar player that's just throwing up a bunch of notes on everybody. I mean, that might be impressive to other guitar players, but really not to the masses of music lovers, of metal music lovers. You know, people that listen to metal or any genre of music, they want to hear the music, right? They want to hear good songs. Yeah, they might be impressed with the guitar solo. I think a lot of people are, but only to a certain point. Because if they're not a guitar player or musician, well, they're not really going to care that you did this technique or that technique or any of that stuff. They don't care. They just care that the song is cool and it sounds good, right? You might be playing just a simple melodic pattern there. They may love that, okay? So just remember that. Just ask yourself, am I a guitar player to impress other guitar players? Or am I a guitar player that wants to write music that music lovers love to hear? So again, these are things that I'm working on. I know I go back and listen to my old videos and even my old albums that are already published out there, and I'm like, I wish I did this solo a little bit better. Maybe I shouldn't have shredded so much. Maybe I should have given the music a little bit more room to breathe. And there might be other solos where I'm like, okay, maybe I could have thrown in something, you know, different there. Of course, that's all out there now. You can only move forward, and I encourage you guys to move forward as well. Guys, I hope this video helped you. Remember to check the links in the description of this video. I've got Alfred Potter's Sweep Picking Master course. If that's something you want to work on, which I'm going through that course as well. It's part of Metal Mastermind where my courses are hosted. But if you want to check that out, there's a link there. I've got some other cool links with my music and my courses, all that good stuff. So do check those out in the description of this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give this a like, give it a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed. Leave any questions you have in the comments, and I will see you on the next video. Until then, keep it metal.